If you do not know, is this working, or have not met Bo Browder, you should. I hope you do before the end of the school year. Anytime talking to Bo Browder is time well spent. So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames and messieurs, Bo Browder.
Thank you, Mr. Watson and the rest of Watson Advisory for being the absolute best over these 4 years. Hi, everyone. If you didn't know, I'm Bo Browder, and I'm probably one of the biggest nerds on this campus, in every sense of the word. My favorite classroom event is participating in deep investigations via Harkness discussions. I created my own language, and I prime factorize every number that passes through my mind. For instance, there are 124 days left until graduation, which equals 2 squared times 31. Thus, I feel like I wouldn't be doing this talk justice if a math metaphor wasn't weaved throughout it. But be warned, because math alone won't make this complete. That would just be boring. And math alone wouldn't be able to convey my actual teenage experiences. This talk will equally be about identity, mine specifically as a queer individual. It will probably make you uncomfortable, but that's intentional. I invite you to follow me, especially if you may be unreceptive to these topics, and revel in that discomfort for this small portion of your 1,440-minute day, while I share with you my own complicated teenage experience. So, first we should explore how I see the world. To me, every single one of you in this room is a column vector of various attributes. X1 may be your height, X2 your favorite color, X3 your birthday, but each bit of information is contained within a single variable in this multivariate glorified arrow. Each beautiful imperfection that makes up each individual is coded into a vector, which is thusly coded into my own neurons. Somehow, these interact in an imperceptible function which fluctuates over time, dictating your thoughts, actions, feelings, whatever. With this outlook, I sometimes think too hard and begin to wonder about whether this logically implies predestination, but I chalk my own free will up to quantum mechanics so I can sleep at night. Naturally, my own perception of myself is similarly coded, and in my own socio-mathematical investigations, I have found that the variables dictating my intelligence and my sexuality have been intimately intertwined. This positive feedback loop, the positive feedback loop these two traits induce has made me who I am. In plain words, I am smart because I am gay, and I am gay because I am smart. Sure, a multitude of other variables interact with these, and no two people will experience this particular loop, but this personal truth is undeniable. The peaks in my my time versus math accrual graph directly correspond to moments of stress and isolation. In middle school, I dipped my toes into calculus when I had my first crush on a boy, and I dove into calculus 2 when I came out as gay. Whether it was because I didn't want others to notice these suffocating feelings, or because I simply wanted a distraction, math became my escape during moments of self-reflection. Math's impartial, logical nature gave me comfort, supplanting my own nuanced, difficult questions with those I could resolve through research and time. Despite this, my identity had to be reckoned with. Since freshman year, I have been publicly gay, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's not a choice, and I know enough and I'm comfortable defending myself when I feel it's logical to do so. After all, why would I choose to face uninformed, ignorant comments about who I really am, if not for the sake of depicting myself exactly as I was born, am now, and will always be? With this decision to simply be me, I entered VES. New variables and few constants. And to add on top of this, I had to analyze the various ways in which other people perceived my own variables. Publicly gay individuals in American society have approximately n equals 3 ways of being viewed. Being flamboyantly gay and having that be their entire outward persona, being unwanted and excluded from general socializing, or being eccentric in another way with our queer identity tucked into the background when convenient. Or they're really cool like Nick and I'm jealous of them. Precisely because I know that digons and monogons require spherical geometry to manifest, I found myself in the third case with math as my eccentricity. This isn't necessarily bad, I have to admit. I love being gay and being a math nerd. But what pains me is that because of my people-pleasing tendencies, I know I could fall into the unwanted category if I weren't smart. I know I am valued and respected in this community for my intelligence and willingness to share with others, but I can't help but imagine whether I can make a greater impact if I were straight. Being gay is hard sometimes. It's like trying to compute a Fourier series before you understand Euler's identity. It's like counting higher and higher, searching not only for the end of natural numbers, but wading desperately through the ordinal expanses beyond. It can become really disorienting. Through VES, I have formed friendships that I know will endure any real number of miles that college may separate us by. I have found my unofficial safe space in a Hopkins Writing Center, with a familiar indent in the couch where we curl up or splay out. Still, the conversations between my friends that I and the 66 portraits stoically listen to have often dealt with my own identity-related frustrations. Would I enjoy being on a sports team more if I were straight? Do others understand that I am gay and that's okay, and who I love is not a choice, but rather a complicated interaction between sodium-potassium pumps, neurotransmitters, and hormones in my brain? I know I am right about this. So why does it seem so difficult to convince other people of it if they accept that I am intelligent about other things? Are numbers and variables all that I am to people, despite my complex experiences as a real human being? Is my gayness simply tolerated because of the benefits of my intelligence? Upon expressing these deep-seated worries, one of my friends would hug me. They would tell me that it's okay to have these feelings, but that there's still a lot of good in this community. In another country, I could be imprisoned, which is crazy, while here I'm fully allowed to relay this discomfort to all of you in front of me. The GSA at VES has taught me how to genuinely articulate these emotions without ignoring the uncomfortable or taboo topics. My experience at VES is not dictated by my own anxieties, but rather how I have navigated them with the undying support of others. I wouldn't want to traverse this path anywhere else because here, I know I can make it through. Regardless of any difficulties and differences that naturally come with a large enough group of people, I have found my desired subset and risen above these stresses. Through the open-mindedness of teachers here, I have learned to use my own education to fuel my personal growth rather than to suppress it. There has yet to be a day at VES where I am not grateful to be where I am. I hope that this speech has made you uncomfortable, because I have dealt with this discomfort for a long time, as have most queer individuals. Currently, I am uncomfortable being so vulnerable with all of you, but this discomfort is okay. Some things are just difficult by default, especially when they challenge our own notions of truth. But this is precisely why we must embrace them to become fuller, more well-rounded human beings, regardless of what may be causing this discomfort. By this point, the math analogy has worn off due to the computational intensity of effectively analyzing this column of variables, which makes me me. But I hope that I, Bo, the math nerd, have been able to share my experiences with you in a way that can still be viewed as credible. Not because I am smart or because I am gay, but because I am a human being just like all of you. QED, and thank you.